Hey everybody, this is Logan Moffett with Remax Equity. I want to give you a quick update about the market, and again, thank you for watching this video. The biggest thing right now that we're seeing is that the inventory is extremely tight. When rates went down because of COVID, Utah didn't really stop. Utah's continued to move. Utah's continued to be exciting. People are buying homes more than they have ever in the past. In fact, right now we have lower inventory than we've almost ever had in Utah. And what's happening is you actually have more pending deals. So more pending deals with less inventory. So it's become extremely tight, which has started to push prices up. I've heard that prices year over year have gone up as far as 13% in Utah County. I want you to think about that. That means if the median home price is right around $350, you're looking at an increase of over $40,000 over a year. And that's on a home that's $350. If you're at a $500,000 home, now you're talking about being over $60,000 higher without doing any improvements, just the same home, nothing changing. Really quick, to answer the question of the best places to invest, I'm going to share my screen and show this map of Utah County right here. So hopefully you can see this. So Utah County historically has been really dense in the Orem-Provo area. But what's been happening is Saratoga Springs is now taking the trophy for the highest and fastest growth rate. They're actually expecting that Eagle Mountain will have over 100,000 residents. I believe the figure is actually closer to 150,000. Right now, you have the meat packing plant being built out there. Facebook announced that they're no longer just going to be a 30-person data center, but they're looking to hire hundreds of people, higher paying jobs. So Saratoga is now taking that. You also have the LDS Temple that's being built there. You have Costco that they just announced a few months ago. It's growing. And if you look really closely down here, this house is all the way down to here. Pelican Point's somewhere around here. But you can see the amount of growth. So if you go straight across, they're already built as far as south as halfway through, actually, no, very southern Orem. The future is telling us, and all the indicators are telling us, that this area, Eagle Mountain, Saratoga Springs, is going to be booming over the next 5-10 years, more than it is now. Another thing to look for is West Lehi. You can also see in South Salt Lake County, Bluffdale, Harriman. There's mountains here, so there's not a lot of building happening right here, but you can see these different corridors and what's happening. Provo and Orem are almost entirely tapped as far as development. So you start seeing, I guess we could call them high rises, where they're 4-story, 5-story buildings that are happening in the downtown Provo area. Another thing to think about is South Utah County. So South Utah County, they're expecting about 20 years, there will be more people in South Utah County than North Utah County. I believe that's going from Provo and south. I don't know if it's counting Provo or not, but let's just pretend it's not right now. And I want you to see why. You can see how much land is available out here and how much of it is actually flat and buildable. Whereas Utah County, the north part of Utah County, has the lake going all the way up it goes up to Lehi. So it basically cuts off all the land for Linden and Orem and Provo that you have right here in West Payson and Genola and Santaquin in Goshen. And you actually even have people now that are looking down to Nephi for building and to buy. As far as the best places to buy investments, my crystal ball right now is telling me if you're looking for something that's going to be the best short term, as in you can go and get it, have it a few years, do a 1031 exchange, move your money, I would say that Saratoga Springs, especially down here, there's a D.R. Horton development down here in Saratoga Springs. You can still get a townhome for right around $300,000. Another thing to look for is last year I bought right over here off the golf course. Yeah, right over here. I bought a property with a lender that I work with. But Quail Hill with Edge Homes, that's one place that you really should think about. There are single family homes, but they have condos and they also have townhomes. You can get into these condos if you're doing an owner occupied, you can get in with nothing down because they actually will go FHA. But if you look at it right here, this is where the LDS Temple is going. I believe it's right here. And so all of this, the plan is that all of this will be developed. You have another D.R. Horton development over here. And then you have a number of builders down here, Richmond Americans down here. If you're going to buy something where you're looking at a 5-year plan, my money is saying right here in this area. I think City Center has a lot of potential, but I would focus on this area. Now, you can always find deals in Orem and Provo and Pleasant Grove. So keep your eyes out for those deals, but it's really easy to go and buy a new build and wait a few months. The price continues to go up, and when it's done, you already have equity. Longer term investing, my next, I guess, medium term, we're talking maybe 10 years, look at Spanish Fork. Spanish Fork and Salem are growing so fast. And I'd also say Santaquin on that. Santaquin has a grocery store now. Any of these places you can make money right now. But what's going to happen is as the land begins to be purchased and bought, it won't be so accessible and people won't be able to build as much. And so prices will go up. The other thing too is if you're in an area like Payson or Spanish Fork, you have the opportunity that if you buy something a little bit older, there may be future higher and best use where they want to go in instead of building a single family home. Now they want to go in and build a fourplex or an apartment complex. So if you could hang on to some land and have the tenant pay for it, that would be a really smart move. Long-term growth in Utah County. I would say this whole area right here, Genola, Goshen, Alberta, Mosida. I would say this area has a lot of long-term potential. I'd even say right outside Utah County, where you start looking at this area, as the growth happens, people will look for cheaper land and they will look for it. The most costly, or one of the most costly parts of development is the infrastructure. So as infrastructure moves from Santaquin and moves up to Genola, now you have access to cheaper infrastructure that will support multifamily housing. And that's where a lot of the money is that higher density housing. But that's another struggle right here, West Mountain, this area, because there's no utilities out here as far as sewer goes, from what I understand. And so you get into a tricky spot where people want to build a development, but the county's saying it's just not feasible for for the county to take care of it. So that's kind of my growth predictions for Utah County. I think it's logical. I think it makes sense. I guess the wild card is what happens in Eagle Mountain with future employment. If Eagle Mountain really does get that meatpacking plant, ends up employing 2,000 to 3,000 people, which is the equivalent of about 15,000 people plus. And then you look at that and you say, okay, well, South Utah County continues to grow. Now you have this connection, and Utah County really becomes this economy where people in Eagle Mountain have business with South Utah County, and it's easy access. And I haven't even mentioned that they've talked about building the causeway across the lake. That would dramatically shorten the time to get across the lake. These are some of my predictions. This is my crystal ball. I want you guys to understand that it's really difficult to say the best place to invest. But right now, I feel very strongly about the Saratoga Springs area, West Lehigh, where that Costco just went in, where you start seeing that development. The Costco is going to provide capital for the city to make improvements, to take better care of their citizens. Those are things to look for. And in the near future, you will all say, I wish I bought out there. Whether or not it's the hottest place to invest right this moment, which I believe it is. Another thing to look for is, let's see if I can point it out. But if you know where the American Fork Harbor is, Woodside Homes has a development out there. Depending on what they allow them to do with building because of the water, there's a train station for the front runner out there. Look for things like that. There's some high density housing right by the front runner. And as you start seeing these development projects appear, that's when you know that things are heading in the direction that you want as an investor. So that's the best place. That's the best place to buy right now in Utah County would be that Saratoga Springs area, the new Costco, right off of Pioneer. I didn't even mention 2100 is going to be expanding, and so is Redwood. that will bring more ease to transportation, and more people can live there because you're not going to be stuck in traffic. That's the plan. So again, this is Logan Moffat with Remax Equity. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm more than happy to answer them. And good luck this October. Have fun, stay safe, and stay healthy.